So there guys, welcome back to Shadowrun Dragonfall. Last episode, we told Luca Dua to go fuck himself. He came over, messed with us, sent us on this shit audition. It was part one of the audition, it was supposed to be a second part, but we basically told him to GTFO. So that was fine. Let's have a quick look on the mission computer. Any cool messages? I suppose we've got to catch up on all our social obligations here in Shadowrun. You know, get on social media, check it out. We have 1 unread messages. Sweet. Check your inbox. Still alive. Oh, from Jana. I guess that I should thank you. You got me out of that horrible job alive. I don't think I could have made it on my own. What happened on that run took everything else away from me. But at least I'm still breathing. The lodge turned me into a killer, Slick. That gnaws at my guts every minute of every day, and I still can't sleep at night. Innocent people, normal people, die because of what I did. And you know why they made me do it? Because they could. I don't know. Maybe this doesn't bother you. You're a Shadowrunner after all. You kill people all the time. Just another day at the office, huh? Well, I'm not like you. I can't just kill people on the job and forget about it the next day. This is going to haunt me for the rest of my life. I don't know how to live like this, but it's still better than not living at all. That's what I keep telling myself. And so I figured that I might as well tell it to you too. Jay. Open jobs, view all pending jobs. Active. Is active a new one? Oh no, that's the Frau Mueller job. That's okay. Shadowrun BBS. Shadowrun connection established successfully. Search for relevant keywords. Massacre at Shatternest Schoolhouse. Really attention-grabbing headline, right? That's how the local news has been spinning it. Truth is, the schoolhouse was abandoned years ago and was being used as a humanist recruitment and training complex from Tolstoy. You're kidding me. A friend of mine was going there after class. He said it was just a community centre. Wow. I know none of you are fans of Humanists, but that entire chapter house got wiped clean. There were probably some kids in there off the street who were just looking for a hot meal. Screw Humanists for exploiting them, but they didn't deserve death. Good riddance to those assholes. Streets are a little safer now that they're all buried. When trolling on the Humanist board and that place was totally wiped out, Volker Stahl was in charge of that chapter house. Good riddance to that piece of dreck. Heh, just got for the job to geek one of Humanists' lieutenants. Seems like Stahl is dead and a power struggle is already underway. You taking the job? Not my kind of work, but I gave the Johnson an address to one of your Tricks Dead drops. Cheers, mate. Just finished up drinks with the chummer who was doing some biz up there. The real story is Humanists did not want to pay for services rendered and some hide muscle went crazy and took them all out. Apparently. So they must have decided taking the whole place down would get the Union back. Well, that's one way to make a living, I guess. Even if your friend did get screwed out of a bit of Union, I don't think Humanists would even be worth the bullets, especially that many of them. Formula 17. They're discussing Formula 17. So we've all seen this one floating about the tricks. This is some serious stuff. It's got heavy-duty core written all over it. Not a lot of players could be behind something like this. Ares or SK or maybe one of the big pharma core, say Shearing or AGC. Gosh, you can never totally discount the Azes either. Tolstoy, my esteemed colleague, this is indeed a recipe for some top-shelf dreck. Whispers from the shadows say that this is sourced straight from the F-State. Hello boys, I'm a big fan, you know, long-time reader, first-time poster. Quite an interesting concoction you have here. I'm just itching to cook some up. So many interesting properties to play with. I've already got a few tweaks in mind for my own special version 2.0 from Brewmeister. You sure that you want to do that? This stuff doesn't play nice and Core are really bad at sharing their toys. You can, of course, always share their secrets for them. Just got to make sure you run a little faster than them. Always running ACW like clockwork. Bandit, I'm touched by your concern, but don't worry about little old me. I do declare this shall be ever such fun. Save the F-State. The time rise up against the corporations is now. Fight for a free Berlin. You just fall out of a time warp. The war is over and we've won. Hard to imagine Berlin any freer. Maybe you just need to switch to decaf. As long as any corporation is active anywhere in the F-State, we are all at risk. We must act. Core are good for business and keep their little corners. Why do you think we would help you? How naive to think they will stay there forever. Don't you see that they are taking us the freedom we all hold so dear? Plans are being made across the F-State. With the shadow community on our side, we shall prevail. This guy seems a bit weird. The F-State has its own way of dealing with those who step out of line. Take your politics somewhere else. Around here, we've got bills to pay. And running on SK. Shiza, what a thrill. Had to do a simple data steal on SK branch office, turned into an OK Corral shootout. Never seen first response team arrive that fast in my life. Had a Decker off-site running damage control, managed to distract the second team to a different building while we jet the car with the first team. Oh, while we jet the car the first team came in. Lesson learned, simple when it comes to SK. Simple when it comes to SK means something else. You stole the cause response vehicle. Don't they have trackers on those things? Of course they do. Dumped it off the side of the road with a prime grenade in the back seat just to be safe. Nice one. Bragging about a nearly failed run on SK. Is it worth paying a Decker to backtrace your Shadowland account? Any idea what valuable data they were hiding in that branch office? No idea. Money was too good to take any chances with it. Safely delivered it and the transfer cleared. Okay, it's nice to see what the other Shadowrunners are up to, you know? It's crazy. Any pay data? Do we have anything? I don't think we have anything. Any payments to claim? Humanity's safe house data? Boom! 460 new yen. Sweet. Let's also check the ALBIS fund. 32.5. We're pretty close, actually. We're not doing bad. Anything else I need to do? I think that's probably it for that bit. Right, let's have a quick word with Amstel, in case he wants to know about the doer situation. Okay, I can't remember if we've told him any of this yet, but we'll do this. Slick, greetings. Amstel peers at you through a battered old pair of wire rim glasses, blah blah blah. I sent a man named Quarren to talk to you. He runs things in a neighbouring Kiers. They're on hard times and I promised them some rations. Ah, Quarren of the Rebengeister. Yes, in fact I received a message from this man just a short while ago. If this is your wish, I will work with Samuel to coordinate shipments of surplus rations to Gesundbrunnen. Gesundbrunnen. What does that mean? Gesund is like health, isn't it? Healthy. I wonder what Brunnen means. I did hear about Gunnari's missing shipments, by the way. If we had to aid Quarren, then I trust that our misunderstandings with the Rebengeister have been resolved. Yeah, we'll go with that. Maybe we've made some new allies. Wise move, Slick. I think Monica would be proud. I hope she would. Very well, I shall make the arrangements. I'm glad you were able to retrieve Gunnari's shipment without needless violence. Good work. Is there anything else I can help you with? A question for you about the Cruise Bazaar. People. I want to see if he knows anything about Luca Dua. Oh, we've already done this, I think, where he just spits out that bit. Okay, sorry, Paul, we're done. Nothing new for you to report. Hey, Dante. How's shit? Fucking Dante. Never does much, does he? Dietrich. Any updates on Alexander? Okay. Oh, we can ask people about the lodge. Oh, sweet. What do you know about the lodge, Dietrich? Lodge? He freezes up. Boss, do you mean the Black Lodge? I don't know. Maybe. Lodge was all that I heard. Let me describe them to you, and you can tell me if what I'm saying fits. Shadowy, powerful, secretive as hell with deep pockets and a penchant for hiding the truth. They conduct all their business with dupes and go-betweens. He gives you a sideways glance. That sound about right? That's them in a nutshell, yeah. Well, if it's them, and whatever you're talking about, I ain't saying it is, then I'd advise you to stay away from them. Stay far, far away, and whatever you do, don't take their money. If you do, they'll own you. Good job we got out of there, then. I take it they're dangerous, then. He sighs. More than you could know. Most folks don't even believe that they exist, but being a shaman in Berlin has its perks. I've seen enough evidence to believe. Tell me what you've heard about them. Well, the story is that the Black Lodge is the mother of all conspiracies. Supposedly they've been around for hundreds of years, and they've been practicing magic since well before the Awakening. Impossible, I know, but I believe it. You ever heard of the Masons, the Knights Templar, the Bavarian Illuminati? They're all puppets of the Black Lodge. None of them knew who they were working for, but the Lodge was there, pulling the strings. They've always been, and they still are today. That's the story. Okay, well, thanks for letting us know, Dietrich. Sure thing, boss. Suddenly, I could use a drink. Any thoughts about the last run? Okay. Anything about your story? Okay, it's bound to happen eventually. Probably sooner rather than later. Is there something you can do to stop it from happening? Well, I suppose I could refuse, but that probably wouldn't be a good idea, especially not now. Remember, boss, the Dragon Slayer is where my magic comes from. If I turn away from him, you'd better believe that he'll turn away from me. Besides which, I don't even know if I can refuse him anymore. He's been with me for so long, I don't know where he stops and I begin. He grins at you. Don't you worry about me, boss. I've known that this has come in my entire life, and when it happens, I'll go down in a blaze of glory, the likes of which you can't even imagine. That's a promise. What if you were to pick up a fight with a different kind of dragon? He pauses for a moment. That's an interesting idea. If it were big enough and heinous enough, he might be satisfied. I've never tried to bargain or negotiate with a Dragon Slayer before. I'm not sure how I feel about it, and I don't know how he'd take it either. The Dragon Slayer doesn't like to be questioned, and his temper's even shorter than mine. But I'll tell you what, boss, I'll think about it. You can't really believe that your rider wants you to commit suicide. Of course not. The Dragon Slayer doesn't want me to die, but he does want me to kill dragons. That ain't supposed to be safe or easy. It isn't my idol's fault that I'm getting too old to keep up with his wishes. Fair enough, Dietrich. Thanks for the chills. Glory or Iger, we can probably squeeze both in, so let's hit Glory up first. Hey Glory, what's the story? Glory's pallid face lights up at your approach. A genuine smile spreads across her lips. Slick, good to see you. You too, Glory, how's things? She pauses for a moment, considering. You know what? I'm happy, actually. For the first time in a long time. I have you to thank for that. Ready to tell me about that chrome you're sporting? Be patient, Slick. The explanation for that is coming. A look of unease flits across her face. I'm not sure that you're going to like it, though. You need time and I gave you time. Ready to talk about Firstella yet? Yeah. Chloe looks troubled, more so than you've ever seen her before. Whatever memory she's dredging up must be exceedingly painful. I'm not going to lie. I haven't been looking forward to this, but yeah, it's time. Slick, look, I'm about to tell you some things about myself that might change your opinion of me. It's entirely impossible that you're going to hate me based on what's coming up next. Nah, come on. I've accepted that, and if that's what happens, I sincerely believe that I deserve it. She looks you in the eye, her expression grim. Alexa, stop. That was weird. What did I say that set her off? Okay, just pretend that didn't happen. She looks you in the eye, her expression grim. So tell me, are you sure you want to keep pushing forward with this? It's important, Glory. It is important. Come on, I need to know your secrets for the video. Thanks, Slick. Thanks for being a friend. So when we left off last time, I had just moved from the streets of Tübingen to the warm, inviting confines of Firstella. Marta and I were happy there for a little while, and Harrow embraced me as a long-lost daughter. I should probably take a moment to talk more about Harrow. He's going to be an important figure in this story. I don't know what his age was. He seemed old enough to be paternal, but young enough to hang with the kids or something on like a peer level. Best guess I'd say he was in his mid-20s. He was handsome and well-built, with a neatly trimmed beard and thick brown hair, and there was something else about him, something uncanny. Harrow had this charisma, this raw, magnetic attraction that just made people latch onto him. I saw it over and over. All it took was a few words and a pat on the shoulder, and Harrow would have a new convert. The other kids of the farm followed him around like lost puppies. As much as I loved Marta, and as much as I thought she loved me, we forgot all about one another when Harrow was around. All that we wanted was to be close to him, to be a part of his inner circle, and soon enough, we were. That sounds like some sort of like charm magic or something, doesn't it? He was clearly sort of dragging these people in towards him somehow. Very suspicious. For a girl of 17, it was all terribly exciting. Harrow had these rules of living that he would teach us, rules about self-determination and the importance of disobedience. He claimed to have taught classes at the University of Berlin, which he painted as a mix between an earthly paradise and an anarchist playground. He told us how Firstella would be the focal point of a new movement for the children of the fatherland. He told us that we were special. We ate it up, of course. We were kids. It's a cult. Glory is what this is. For those of us... Her speech circuits broke. For those of us in the inner sanctum, Harrow would share even more. He had power the likes of which I had never seen. Not my father's drunken fists or my own childish experiments, but genuine incredible power. He said it came from the Horned God, an ancient deity that he venerated. Sounds dodgy. He knew about my latent abilities right away, and he offered to teach me. Naturally, I accepted. This Harrow is beginning to sound a lot like a cult leader. You're not wrong there, but it gets a whole lot worse than that, as you'll soon see. Chloe sighs. Hang with me, Slick. Rough waters ahead. So I became Harrow's apprentice. He taught me to channel magic and summon spirits. He taught me rituals and pagan traditions, Machiavellian philosophy, and Nietzschean. It's Nietzsche. Is it Nietzsche or Nietzsche? I don't know. I can never pronounce the guy's name. But yeah, his ethics. Above all, he taught me to connect with his horned god, and through it I learned power and arrogance, and it was all downhill from there. For the next few years, I lived at Fishtala with Harrow's enforcer and right-hand girl. I was also his sometimes wife and concubine, but that was a distinction that I shared with all the girls in the commune, including my beloved Marta. I came to learn that she'd been his long before she met me, but by that point I didn't care. I'd embraced the rules of living. I was Harrow's creature through and through. I didn't ask questions, and I walked the path that was in front of me. Other fun facts about those years: I learned cruelty. I had power now, and my new idol encouraged me to use it. Harrow did the same. Any children who didn't pull their weight were subjected to my tender mercies, and I was anything but tender. I took what I wanted rather than asking for it. I liked it. It was fun. I also came to learn that Harrow's horn god was not the Eichenfürst worshipped by throwback cults across Germany. It was certainly a god with horns, but it came from an altogether different tradition. Care to hazard a guess? The devil. In the magically active community, we refer to it as the adversary, but yeah, same being, more or less. So my idol, the ancient deity that was feeding me my power, was the antithesis of everything that is right and good, and you know what? I didn't care. In our time together, Harrow and I committed more atrocities than I could count. At this point, I was onto all of his tricks. I knew that Fishtala was nothing more than a honey trap, carefully designed to lure local children into my master's clutches. I knew that the kids who seemed resistant to Harrow's brainwashing techniques wound up fertilizing the garden. I knew that Harrow's entire manifesto was bullshit, and I knew that through it all, Harrow and the adversary were laughing, because I was laughing right there with them. I don't want to pin the blame for my decisions on anyone but me. That said, I would like to posit that my father's connection to the Kreutzritters might have helped play into my willingness to serve the adversary. Glowy talks a lot once you get her going. In my warped, indoctrinated little brain, I equated the Church with evil, so the opposite of that I figured had to be, well, if not good, then at least not totally bad. But I was kidding myself, of course. My new deity was the very definition of bad. Serving it made me bad. End of story. I don't know. Harrow is certainly the one to blame. And not just Harrow either, but like pretty much everything. Yeah, well, let's go. Fuck it, let's go for that. And what if he was indoctrinated into the service of the adversary when he was my age? Would he not be at fault anymore either? Good point. She shakes her head. No, Slick. Harrow certainly deserves some of the blame for what I became. Maybe even most of it. My personal responsibility has to come into the equation somewhere. I made my own choices, and they were horrible ones. I've accepted that. You should too. Glory pauses for a moment to collect herself. She looks haggard and her pale cheeks are flushed blood red. She swallows hard, then presses forward. Anyway, one day Harrow invited me on a field trip to Stuttgart. Over the years that I was at Fishtala, the commune had easily doubled in size. It was thriving, all thanks to the efforts of Marta and the girls like her. Harrow would send the girls out to neighbouring cities to lure in the street kids that nobody would miss. He targeted children because they were easy to indoctrinate, and because nothing makes the adversary happier than the corruption of the innocent. As we drove out to pick up the new recruits, I was already planning ahead. It was a foregone conclusion that I would pay my father a visit. The irony of a group of Kreutzritters getting immolated by a genuine servant of the actual devil tickled me no end. So when Harrow stopped to fill up on diesel, I hopped out the van and headed out on foot to my parents' place. Harrow wasn't overly concerned about my absence. I had long since reached the point where I could assert my autonomy, and he knew that I'd be back. I wound up at my folks' house sometime around noon. I could hear the adversary whispering in my ear, telling me what to do. I had long since learned to listen to its voice. It always rewarded me with extra power when I did its bidding. It told me to knock, so I did. As the door opened, I could feel a torrent of flames welling up in the astral plane all around me. It told me to channel them into the doorway, into my father, so I did. But of course the person who opened the door wasn't my father. It was my mother. Well, no shit. Kind of saw that coming. Yeah, tragic but predictable. As I watched her flesh blacken and melt, as I heard her scream and broke into hysterics, I heard the adversary laugh, and at that moment I realised that it was laughing at me. Tragic but predictable. Glory nods, a grim expression on her delicate face. In hindsight, yes, you're right. It was inevitable that this would happen. I was a fool and a puppet, and any power that I thought I'd had was on loan from a being that craved my own misery. It was like a lever had been pulled. All at once the bubble popped. I wasn't a powerful servant of the adversary. I was not Harrow's #1 girl. I was a ridiculous little fool who'd willingly tied her soul to the worst thing in existence. Realising all of this was one thing. Actually fixing it was something else entirely. I knew that I had to get away from Harrow. That was the first thing to do. So I bit my lip and did my best to ignore the happy babble of the new recruits on the trip back to Festella, and I managed to get through the ride without screaming. Once we were back at the commune, I broke into Harrow's safe, stole all of the commune's resources, and ran. I don't know when Harrow realised what I'd done, or whether he even cared. All that I know is that nobody came after me, so I kept running and running until I got to Berlin. Getting past the wall was fairly simple. You know how easy it is to obtain falsified papers. The biggest obstacle that I faced during my life during my flight was the adversary itself. I can run from Harrow, but how do you run from something that's tied to your own soul? Let me guess, snip, snip. I have a feeling that I know. The haunted look in Glory's eyes is heartbreaking. She gives you another curt, grim nod. I walked into the office of the first street doc I could find, pointed at all the biggest, bulkiest pieces of cyberware that he had on display, and told him to put them into me. He tried to upsell me on better merchandise, arguing that what I was asking for was old and inefficient, better suited to being sold in a museum than in a body. He told me that I'd be shredding my essence, and that once it was gone I'd never be able to get it back. I stuck to my guns. After all, shredding my essence was the whole point. Glory looks up at you. Her eyes are sunken and hollow, and the aura of loss about her is palpable. She looks like a woman who's been through hell. Literally. That's all for now, Slick. You've heard the tale. You know why I am the way I am. You know the things I've done and how much I have to atone for. If you sold my company, fine. If I've lost your friendship, I understand that too. But for now, I need to be alone. Man, that was a lot. Jeez. That was a hell of a lot of stuff, Glory. Man, that chewed up most of the episode there. Fuck. Oh shit, how do I get out of here? There we go. Man, I was going to talk to Iger as well, but if Iger's got a massive fucking pile of shit to get through as well, then we're probably best saving it for next episode. But at least we've got the full story now about Glory. We've got Glory's story in all its glory. So that's ready to go. So next episode we'll chat to Iger, we'll chat to Blitz, I guess. Go see if the weapon/armor merchant's got any new goodies for us. And then we'll probably head out and do Blitz's side mission, which I'm kind of eager to check out. Seems like it should be a fun one. But I suppose we better make a save point. Because that was the entire fucking ep right there. Am I saving on the right slot? Yeah, I am. Save that shit. Let's hope it saves okay. It should do. There we go. Right, so, saved is done. I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.